Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me here again. Thank you very much for joining me. And all right, this weekend, Autumn Series Round 4 was one of those kind of weekends where you just, switch your phone off, cancel your plans, and emotionally prepare yourself for a wild ride, because it was just one of those rugby kind of weekends. The Springboks, first of all, breaking a 13-year-old Dublin curse. Last time we actually won in Aviva Stadium, Dublin, against Ireland was 13 years ago. That was it. And for the last 13 years, we had to suffer the humiliation of actually losing to them on their home ground. Aside from that, it was yellow cards raining from the bloody sky, Rassie doing Rassie stuff. We had England doing England stuff, and then also Marx receiving a very pleasant surprise for himself right at the end of the match. And then we had Snyman celebrating his 50th cap, running out for the Springboks. Very proud moment for him there. On the field that he's been playing on for the last 2 years, really, as he's been playing for Leinster in the URC. So he's pretty much familiar on that sort of, I guess it's like a home ground, but not a home ground for him. And then, of course, the All Blacks spending half their game trying to pretend that Wales didn't almost ruin their entire month. So yeah, grab a drink, grab some snacks, and let's talk rugby. Here we go. Now, let me kind of paint the scene here. The atmosphere was quite electric. High pressure event. As the Boks run out, they didn't really stand in front of a very positive crowd for them. Ireland, the Irish fans takes their rugby very seriously, almost as seriously as we do, or the All Blacks does, or New Zealand fans do. It's like a religion. It's speaking from our side. Rugby has united our nation in more ways than anybody ever could, or most politicians ever could in this country. We do take our sport pretty seriously, and we're very hyped on soccer and cricket as well. But of course, rugby is the main focal point of our sports entertainment. And when our rugby players run out onto the field, they don't just support themselves. This isn't just a job for them. They are there to represent our nation as a whole, and it's probably one of the highest honors that any player in rugby can achieve for this country. So it's a pretty big deal for us all. And then the Boks were quite intense and clinical in their, whole atmosphere, their preparation. And Ireland, I don't know if that kind of slightly unsettled them, but yeah, as we start analyzing the game, you'll see what I'm basically talking about. Snyman, as I already said, running out on the field with his 50th cap for the Southern Viking, Ragnar, the son of Snyman, as they sort of colloquially dubbed him. And it was just, classic Snyman kind of performance as well, as he, gets a yellow card roundabout in the second half, and then subsequently have the yellow card overturned. Which is, you don't see this kind of stuff happen. It's just out of this world. He gets sent off, I think, for a bit of a cynical error that he makes. But then, because a penalty was conceded by Ireland just before that, and the referee, Carley, was basically informed. It's like, hang on, I would like to show you the TMO saying to him, I'd like to show you some footage of early engagement by Ireland, at the line out. And so he basically had to revert back to the first penalty, which means the yellow card was overturned, as that play should have basically stopped, and with the penalty awarded, as the ball still remained in the hands of Ireland, I think, or was eventually overturned before Snyman's penalty happened. If that penalty was basically awarded to the Springboks, Argies would never have happened. So they had to overturn the yellow card. As he's walking back, the ref is like, you're a lucky bloke. Giving him sort of a underhanded verbal warning there. It's like, don't fuck with me. But yeah, Ireland's discipline collapsed pretty early on in the game. With, I think, Ryan was given a yellow card, 10-minute yellow card, referred to the bunker for a illegal clear out of the ruck on Malcolm Marx. It just kind of dove over the ruck. I mean, it wasn't just, in a clearing, you still have to support your own weight by clearing the ruck. It's you've got to come in with a sort of clear and then be able to bind still in the ruck. He didn't. He just kind of dove straight over the ruck, hit Malcolm Marx on the chest, and ended up lying on the Springbok side of the ruck eventually. I mean, he came in with such force. Malcolm Marx went sitting backwards on his arse. And yeah, the referee immediately blew the whistle. TMO review, looked at it again and said, oh, right, yellow card, referred to the bunker. 10 minutes later, that yellow card was then upgraded to a 20-minute red card, unfortunately. So that was the end of the game for Ryan. And what followed was just, not really anything that the Irish would have wanted for that game. And they lost momentum from there on completely, almost. It was just not even controlled chaos. It was just chaos. Prendergast, I think, went off shortly after that, but I do have to admit that I do not agree with that yellow card, and I'll tell you why. South Africa was basically coming in phase play on the Irish goal line, and after phase, obviously, as would happen from the pressure from the box side, the Irish would commit certain unforced errors. In desperate defense of their try line. And the fact that they are, one man down also doesn't make it, very kind of favorable position for them. So Matthew Carley basically awards advantage to the Springboks. Reinach gets the ball, goes over, scores a try, and of a brilliant attack movement. And of course, after the try was awarded, Matthew Carley still awarded a yellow card to Prendergast, conceding too many penalties. I think it was. But yeah, that from there on, it didn't really go that well. Of course, there are a lot of people complaining about the Sacha infringement that wasn't even carded. It was just basically remained a penalty. But I think, Matthew Carley, look, he called the game straight down the middle. I can't really fault him for the penalties that he issued. Or for the cards. I think the card on Prendergast was a bit overkill. He's already awarded advantage to South Africa. South Africa used the momentum of that advance to score a try. So I think it was a bit unnecessary to still award a yellow card. But it looked like Matthew Carley tried his level best to find reasons not to award, to kind of take a step down from the recommended penalties or punishment given. The clear out from Ryan, taken down to a 20-minute red card, yellow card referred to the bunker, then 20-minute red card. It wasn't a straight red card. As you can see, that's happened to both Louis de Jager and Franco Mostert. Franco Mostert, just a bit of an update, had been cleared. There was a review after the match, obviously given by the appeals board, and they found that the red card was not justifiably given. So they downgraded it to a yellow card, which we all said it was supposed to be, because as you looked at the footage, you looked at the replay, the initial hit was on the chest, then rode up to the head. The exact same thing with this incident by Ryan. Although it was kind of dangerous, he came in with a lot of force, hits Malcolm Marx on the chest area, but it's an illegal kind of clear out over the ruck, potentially quite dangerous. But I think Matthew Carley, didn't want to just immediately issue the toughest punishment yet for infringements there. So we had Ryan going for a 20-minute red card. We had Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu not getting a card at all, which I think the toughest punishment there would have been a yellow card. Not getting a card at all, he just got a penalty. It wasn't him initially in the tackle. He did come in for the tackle, but as soon as he realized that the ball carrier was already being tackled, he tried to stop himself, tried to kind of, although his momentum then just took him straight into the contact. Then of course we had the yellow card on Jack Crowley in the second half as well. I mean, take nothing away from Ireland. They gave a huge fight, especially in the first half. In the second half, they doubled their efforts. Being up to a certain point, 12, 2 men down, didn't help them at all. They were eventually at some point 13 men on the field, desperately fighting for some control of dominance or pressure within the game, trying to desperately mount their defense, but it just wouldn't really go their way, unfortunately. All the unforced errors and really bad discipline by them, costing them quite dearly within the game. A lot of Irish fans basically criticizing Matthew Carley for poor performance, but I don't think you can fault him. Every single penalty he's given, every single card he's given was very much not the top or the most harshest punishment you can give in that situation. So I think I have to commend him on a job well done. That game was actually pretty well called and controlled. So correct under law for the 20-minute red card. I feel the permanent red card would have been too harsh. The only way, like I said, the only part where I disagreed with Matthew Carley was the yellow card on Prendergast. I think that was kind of a overreaction, really. But yeah, it just, Andy Farrell, his reaction at the post game reviews also did kind of, how do I put it, just reveals his entire intent. He basically admitted that they didn't do their best. This wasn't their best performance, but he was still proud of the boys. They put up a good fight. The sort of announcer, the post-match announcer or interviewer, tried to paint the Irish team as terrible performance, or I can't remember exact word that he used, and Andy Farrell kind of took umbrage to that. I don't think it was an apt description on my part as well.
Andy, before we get to your view on the game as a whole, the first half, how do you look back on that? It looked like something borderlining shambolic, really. In terms of just the yellow cards, everything was going wrong, nothing was going right, nothing was sort of on your side. How did you see that? Is it harsh to say maybe shambolic?
I said chaotic. Yeah, I won't repeat your word because I think you're wrong. I haven't seen a game like that ever. You think you've seen it all, and I haven't seen a game like that ever. But I suppose, first and foremost, you look at yourself and why things have happened. So we'll do that and make sure that we learn the lessons from that. But my overriding thought of the game is that I'm unbelievably proud. So for you to start the conversation off like that doesn't sit well.
The Irish team did a lot of work. They really did well, and they tried their level best. Unfortunately, just wasn't their day. Not malicious or poor technique or diverging from the game plan or tactics, or it wasn't really any kind of done with malicious intent on their part. It was just, as soon as the pressure just started mounting, the penalty started rolling in, and of course with it the yellow cards as well. Then we had the turnover yellow card against Snyman. We had a yellow card against Grant Williams, eventually sort of right up to the end of the game, which didn't really do much to save anything for Ireland, unfortunately. But it was a strong game overall. The Springboks dominated very well in the scrum. The Irish forwards collapsing the scrum constantly. There was obviously the very constant dance again of the players within the first half, as a lot of especially Ryan now being permanently off for 20 minutes. They had to really kind of juggle backline players, swap out for front row players, so we can still contest within the scrums. But the set plays just didn't grab hold for them at that stage. South Africa dominating very well with the set plays, especially the lineouts for them as well. And of course, our speciality, the scrums and the rucks, was very well done. Very strong push, very strong drive within those set plays as well. The rush defense of the Springboks was, the spacing was excellent. Really didn't give a lot of ground to Ireland. They defended the try line with admirable strength and determination. There was obviously a couple of tries going through for Ireland as they scored, their 13 points of score. And then South Africa, their 24. So as you can see, there's not a huge difference, not a huge margin between the two. So both teams did quite well in their defensive plays. Although it could have been better. Let's be honest here. Ireland, I don't think, was on their best performance. Possession, South Africa dominated there. For most of the game. In the last 20, although in the last 10 minutes there was about 78% possession on the Irish side. Couldn't turn that into points though. Scrums domination clearly from on the South African side, winning 16 scrums to the Irish 4. The lineouts 21-1 as well to the Irish 11. 100% line out wins for them both. The restart receiving was about 4 on both sides, so very much a balanced match. But with the set plays, South Africa was definitely dominated. The defensive tactics on both sides, like I said, was really, really well done. Ireland walking away with about 125 tackles. And with South Africa, with 154 tackles made. So really strong defense by the South Africans. Really great attempt by the Irish. Honestly, it was a fight. It was a brutal fight, and I think Ireland, you guys can be proud of your boys. Honestly, it just wasn't their day on that field, unfortunately. And it's nobody's fault. I don't think it's anybody's fault. James Lowe really, made some strong carries for himself as well. The line breaks by Tommy O'Brien was absolutely brilliant. James Lowe himself made 2 line breaks. Was really nearly cost us a couple of points there. And then the strongest tacklers for us, Ruan Norkia and then Carley Doris. Making 13 tackles himself for that entire game. So that, really excellent performance. Honestly, I cannot fault Ireland on their performance on that day. So, I think we can, bury the criticism there a bit because, both sides played really well on the day, and I really think you guys can be extremely proud of yourself. I'm definitely proud of my boys for that excellent performance on their side. Really strong performance, never really relented pressure and dominance throughout the game, and it just, yeah. Rassie Erasmus after the game was criticized by a lot of people online for making a thumbs up gesture.
Full time comes up. Who was that aimed at? The Irish crowd referee, your own players? Who's that aimed at?
No, there were South Africans sitting in front of us and saying thank you, and I said thank you back to them.
They were cheering you on during the game.
It's the coach's box. I remember even when I coached Munster here, the coach's box is like soundproof. You know, you can't really get the vibe of what's going on the field. You get it through the referee mic more or less. And this is a special stadium. The crowd is special. You know, they've got manners when the kicker kick. Yeah, I love the way pre-match of the military band. You know, I'm glad they gave RG a bit of a welcoming when he ran onto the field. So no, it was a thank you to our people, and no, we've got respect for the way the Irish people support their team, because I think it was 19 games on the trot now that they've won here. So it was for our guys. Thank you for the support. You know, the euro versus the rand is not too strong, and for our people still to come out here and you could still hear them. It was just a thank you.
The morale of a team is really based on, you know, largely by the fan support, and I think the amount of Springbok support that we had in that stadium was amazing. It just, yeah, I think the media needs to take a step back, because you're throwing up way too many sort of controversial and conspiratorial, speculative things around, and it really doesn't help the game. It really doesn't. SA fans was really wholesome, and Rassie kind of just thought, you know, give him a thumbs up. Thanks, guys. You know, you guys, this was great. Really brilliant. And it was just a harmless gesture in reality. So I think we can kind of bury that one over there as well. Malcolm Marx, total dominance as a hooker, played extremely well. Making some, you know, really crucial turnovers, very quick at the breakdown, massive collisions on his side as well, especially that from that clear out from Ryan, and, you know, fully deserving of his award, which was revealed to him at the end of the game in the cloakroom by none other than Victor Matfield, coming in with the Player of the Year award. And it was just a massive reaction. Let's have a look at that footage.
Okay, gents and ladies, we all know Victor Matfield, Centurion of Springbok Rugby. So Victor's got a special announcement that he'd have to make. Over to you.
Yeah. My heart's beating, Jace, being in this change room again. Fantastic. I mean, this team, even, it's unbelievable. Following you guys, seeing what you're doing out there again tonight, Rassie. It's so lucky to be a Springbok fan. And of course, there's only one team that could have won this. And of course, there's three guys. Ox, where's Peter? Won it twice before. But Malcolm. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just really wow. Such chaos, such atmosphere within that cloakroom after that. But I also think that Snyman, the man of the hour, 50th cap for the Springboks, can be really proud. Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu, not the best kicking performance. Kind of hitting a bit of a block this time around. Maybe a bit of the performance anxiety kicking in there. Yips, as a lot of people call it. But he's still young and he's a massive talent, and scoring I think 2 tries in that game. The first try basically punching his chest to the crowd, giving a bit of showmanship there. Really just in that moment, the celebration is just gets like a lot of adrenaline coming out there. Very adrenaline fueled, as he really is very intense in his game, in his plays, but doing extremely well. So I think he can be forgiven there, scoring 2 tries, I believe it was, and then not doing very well, especially on the skew angles, trying to convert the kicks there. But yeah, it happens. It's happened to Andre Pollard. It's happened to Manu Lebok. It's happened to some of the best kickers that we've had in South African history. So I don't think we can blame him too much for it. His performance on the field itself made up very much for the lack of performance in the kicking arena. But yeah, hopefully now we can sort out that slump of his before we get to the World Cup, because that is going to be crucial as well. A lot of especially in the finals, a lot of points is scored specifically on goal kicks, not really on try scoring. As we can see from the last World Cup finals, it wasn't really into tries. It was more penalty goals and drop goals really. So still a massive talent, still really much a kid that can go far. Grant Williams scoring his try as well, really well done to him there. It really just kind of sealed the deal for South Africa there. It's just brilliant performance. If I can recommend you go and watch it. Anyway, coming now to the New Zealand game against Wales. First half was very much a seesaw matchup, as Wales gave it as good as they got, chasing that score line every single step of the way. New Zealand opening with a very good try, then basically carrying on try and conversion by Damian McKenzie every single time. Wales hit back very shortly after that as well. And then I think it was another try by Caleb Clark, if I'm not mistaken. Very strong drive, extremely strong drive. I mean, this kid, especially when it comes in with a momentum into a pass, there's very few stopping him, and I think it was about shirking 3 defenders just to powerhouse himself over the line to get that try. Really well done, excellent performance there. That's the kind of brutality that we really want to see, in these games. Excellent performance there. And then, of course, Wales again, responding quite quickly after that one. Still going into halftime with a bit of a deficit, but doing extremely well. Really excellent performance there by the Welsh team. With tries, both of them scored by Rogers. This kid is just giving really excellent performance. He's quick. On the uptake, quick hands, really fleet-footed in the especially when coming to dodging defenders. I mean, he really did very well. And Edwards as well, slotting almost every single conversion. That was just absolute magnificent performance. Rogers, of course, scoring a hat-trick for Wales. Brilliant performance. But unfortunately, disaster struck when Thomas and Plumtree were both given yellow cards within the second half. Thomas going off in the 67th minute, and then Plumtree in the 66th minute. So Wales going down to 13 men at a very crucial time in the game, and that just kind of gave leeway to the All Blacks to just power through. Sivu scoring 2 tries, taking brilliant advantage of the yellow cards. Caleb Clark scoring the very last try of the game as well as Leon, and Tamati Williams, doing extremely well for himself, and they're scoring 1 try. But yeah, it's just all overall performance by the All Blacks was really excellent, especially in the second half. Now, some people think that this kind of a bit of a tactical thing. They used to play this tactic where they kind of feel out the opponent within the first half, not really giving their best performance, and then hitting back hard in the second half after they've kind of sussed out where the opponent's weaknesses are. Are they focusing more on the forward play? Shall we go for quick hands on the back line? Chop and changing their game plan as obviously tactics demand within the game, which is always something that I've been admired by the All Blacks. They really play very well as far as that is concerned. Final score there going 26-52. Really excellent. They've dominated within their scrums, their lineouts. The set plays was just right down perfectly for the All Blacks. Wales not doing too badly. Honestly, I didn't expect them to win because it is All Blacks is a very strong team. They did get a bit of a morale boost. I feel from the victory that they got against Japan the week before. They did an excellent performance. Honestly, the defense was as best as it could have been. I think making 223 tackles. That's a huge amount. Which just it just shows you how they dedicated themselves into their defensive lines, really making it difficult for the All Blacks to gain the upper hand, power through, get momentum going, or score tries. They really didn't make it easy for them. So in the first half, kind of chasing the All Blacks and giving them a real good run for their money, but unfortunately wasn't to be. Second half, I think All Blacks really properly checked out the Welsh defenses and saw where the weaknesses were. So they really made a play for that, and really strong play for them as well. Really well done. England facing off against Argentina, a tough match really from there as well. And I think the Brits, although they put up a really good fight, the Argentinians just had more heart, I believe. 27-23 victory to England, and I think they can be really lucky. They still got a 4-point deficit on the Argentinians. The Argentinians, the Los Pumas, has been on excellent form. Their set plays have improved 200-fold. Their powerful their powerful mauls and scrums have really made a huge improvement over the years. Taking on Scotland and beating them on their home ground. I mean, that was just amazing. Nobody expected that. Now, I don't think Scotland really went down in their performance as much as Argentina has improved in their performance, and I think they just caught the Scots kind of offside there. I don't think the Scots expected that at all. So yeah, there was so a bit of attack cohesion problems within the New Zealand starting off in the game, but really making a controlling it well, and repairing their mistakes very well, making up for it in later game within the second half, and really doing a brilliant individual performance by the players as well. Superior athleticism to Wales just kind of sealed the day for them, I think. Then of course, I also want to talk about a few other things. There has been the kind of blow up online about the controversy between England and New Zealand 2 weekends ago with the Haka. Basically, the crowd drowning, the English players walking forward up to the middle line. I don't think they've crossed the middle line. I think there might have been one or two players that actually crossed the middle line. But that has obviously now been established within World Rugby that no team is allowed to cross the center line or the middle line during those kind of displays or events, like Tonga or Samoa or New Zealand giving a haka. They're not allowed to cross that center line, but they are allowed to kind of move up to it. Now, a lot of people feel that that's disrespectful, and I disagree. This has been addressed plenty of times in the past. New Zealand has expressed their approval for that kind of behavior. I can remember quite a few years back when South Africa kind of stood in also kind of a V formation, and they moved up to the All Blacks performing the haka. There was quite a few years ago as well, also the All Blacks facing England, where the players literally came up to one another, in the center of the field. The All Black player sort of issuing the challenge to the British players, and literally coming right up into their faces. It's amazing to see. But the All Blacks live for that. They love it. They absolutely love it. They're laying down a challenge with the haka. They love it when the opposing team kind of meet their challenge, move forward, stare them down. Trying different intimidation tactics on their side as well. The part where I kind of draw the line is the singing of the Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, totally drowning out the haka. Now, I can understand fans' intensity, living themselves into the moment, which is fine. I go for it, love it. It's those kind of moments that makes for great rugby entertainment. But to take it to the point where you literally cannot even hear, and they've got mics. I mean, you've got cameras, they've got mics, microphones on the field, right in front of the All Black players where they're performing the haka, and you literally could not hear them. Literally could not hear them. Now you get to contrast to the game between All Blacks and the Welsh players at Cardiff. I think they played, and absolute silence. I mean, you could hear a pin drop. Lights, the stadium lights basically shining just on the All Blacks. You can't even see the camera crew in front of them. It's like just All Blacks lit up in this absolute brilliant display of laying down the challenge. And it was absolutely magnificent, a wonderful thing to behold. I found it a little bit disrespectful from the crowd and the English fans, drowning them out completely. I mean, you want to sing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, it's kind of in the background while we're still enjoying the All Blacks laying down of the challenge there in front and everything. But to drown them out completely, I don't know. It just didn't sit well for me. I mean, you guys can disagree with me on that. Just leave me your comments in the comments field below. How you feel? What do you think about it? I know there was this little faux pas in the Emirates Stadium in Johannesburg this year, where the All Blacks haka was completely drowned out by the airplane coming over, which was nothing done on purpose. I think the organizers just kind of got the timing wrong of the entire event, and then obviously, the fireworks going off, which isn't, kind of a bad thing, but I think, all in all, with the DJ starting to play the music, which was probably on cue, given the instructions to start playing the music, let off the fireworks and pyrotechnics as the airplane come over to kind of make a huge spectacle. But unfortunately they timed it wrong, and it happened right in the middle of the haka. But I don't think the All Blacks expressed any kind of animosity towards it. There was kind of a few rugby pundits online that did take some umbrage and issue with that, and they voiced their their opinions on it, and it's fine. I mean, that's their opinions. I don't agree with that. It's just, in that instance, it was just a bit of a screw up on the timing, which happens. But yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing serious. Nothing you can really do about it. It happened. England, yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to criticize you guys too much about that, but it didn't sit well with me. Sure, there has to be some level of respect. Some stadiums literally issue like on the sort of this on the big screen, to respect the kicker. Whenever a player basically kicks for penalty goal or for conversion goal, they're quiet in the stadium. The stadium literally appeal to the crowd to please respect the kicker, keep quiet so he can concentrate, kind of thing. And there was a controversy with especially people saying that Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu didn't kick that well because the crowd kept booing him or whatever. And he, in the post-match interview, he didn't really have an issue with it. It's all in the spirit of the game. I do not think that booing anybody, like from the ref or players or penalty decisions or anything like that, or giving a card from the ref, booing the ref in that instance, I don't think is very much in the spirit of the game. But I do understand crowd and fans living themselves into the moment of the game, the intensity, the adrenaline is rushing and all of that. So, I'm not going to lambaste you guys too much about that. But, coming back to the Argentina-England game, brilliant defense by Argentina, a fantastic game by England, playing a really strong attacking game. Argentina gave them hell, being disruptive and erratic right through the game, not making it easy for England to basically score. They controlled their kicking territory very well, trying very hard to kind of keep England in their side of the territory. England, obviously, keeping composure and keeping focus. But also fighting extremely hard to take the fight into the Argentinian half of the field. So it was pretty much a very hard, very tough fought match, but well done by all. And coming up now for the next and final round of the autumn series, internationals rugby, and of course the URC is retaking itself now, sort of at the end of November here. Starting off with the Bulls going up against Lions. That will be on the 29th of November. Zebre taking on Cardiff. Munster against Stormers here again. And this is another thing that is a bit of a worry, because a lot of the players that are now being shipped back to their clubs in time for the URC kickoff is now leaving the national team. So going into the match against Wales, for South Africa going into the match against Wales this weekend, be at a bit of a deficit, but we also have to remember that those other teams are also having to sacrifice their players to the clubs. The Scarlets is playing against the Glasgow Warriors this weekend, so Wales themselves is sacrificing a lot of players there. Ireland themselves as well. Connacht is playing. Cardiff is playing. That's Wales, sorry. But Munster is playing as well. So it is going to be, a bit of reduced teams on both sides, I think. And then South Africa versus Wales is coming up weekend, is also going to be an absolute doozy. Looking forward to that game as well. But that's going to be the final round for the international autumn series. And I think Malcolm Marx is basically leaving for his club. Not kind of very sure about a lot of the. I think Cheslin Colby is leaving. Peter Stephen is leaving. I'm not sure about Sacha, but yeah, it's going to be a reduced talent team that we're going to see. So a lot of the kind of backup players is going to get more of a chance playing time, which I think is also a good thing. These guys need the experience. They need the game time as well. So, but I think Rassie is going to see us through. He's going to have a good game plan in place. These guys are going to be well prepared as they running out into the field on the 29th of November against Wales at the Principality Stadium, Cardiff, I think. So it's definitely going to be one of those absolutely fantastic games. A weekend full of rugby for us to absolutely enjoy. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the breakdown and the content of this video, please consider giving me a like and subscribe at the bottom there if you haven't done so. And please give me your comments. What do you think of England's performance against Argentina? What do you think of the Argentinian really tough performance and how they gave it their all, being very disruptive against the English side, making it very difficult for the English to really get a cohesive and strong dominance going. I think they did very well in trying to wrestle back the dominance from England from England at times. What do you think of the Rassie controversy? Do you agree that it's only just literally an innocent gesture towards the South African fans? What do you think of Matthew Carley's performance? Do you agree with a lot of the red cards? Do you think it was balanced? Do you think it was unbalanced? Do you agree with the 20-minute red card? What do you think of Prendergast's yellow card? Do you agree with me on that one? Don't you agree with me on that one? Please let me know in the comments field below. Also, the Springboks game, would you join me in congratulating Malcolm Marx on his achievement there? And yeah, well, maybe give me your favorite moments of this weekend. What did you enjoy? Which was your favorite try or favorite gameplay, set play, or performance in this weekend's games? But yeah, for more analysis, please hit that bell icon as well, and you'll be hearing more from me in the next weeks to come as I do all the analysis for the URC as well, going from next week onwards. But thank you very much, guys. Please take care of yourselves and your loved ones. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace out.
Yes, 9, use it. Onside.
Digging it out, Williams. He'll pump another high one down towards the 22. Very high kick.
Back by Red.
Knocked back by Wales and picked up again. Here's Jenkins once more. So the big lock making a good start to the second half. Plumtree wrestled to the ground just short of the 22. Williams sends it away. Numbers stacked away to the left here for Wales. They can set up another one for Rogers. Hat-trick. Tom Rogers has a hat-trick. And Wales have their third try.
Oh, blistering start from Wales. And he's all over it. There's Jenkins, and then the transition play out the back. A beautiful pass again from Dan Edwards. Llewellyn with the draw and pass. And then the finishing of Tom Rogers.